Hello, and thank you for stopping by. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when new videos arrive. I've been having some issues. Been in the hospital. Kidney for one, kidney problems, and kidney stones for another. And I'm going back into the hospital on the 25th for surgery. I wanted to talk to you about water and the importance of water. Now, I love water. I don't drink enough of it, though. That's the problem. But I love water that's ice cold. It's got to have ice in it. That's the way I drink it. But I found out that there's 5 things that are wrong with drinking ice cold water. Now, depending on who you talk to, depending on what source you get your information from, some will say there's no problem whatsoever, drink it, doesn't matter. Some other people will say that it is bad for you. Now, I've talked to my doctor, and my doctor tells me, oh, don't worry about it, because I had heard prior that in the mornings when you wake up, if you drink ice cold water, that it causes your blood vessels, or it causes your blood veins to shrink, to harden up, which restricts the flow of blood. That's what I'd heard. He told me, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal, But I came across this while I was looking up some information on it. And this is not the end-all, be-all of the info that's out there. There's some people that'll say water doesn't bother you, that it's got potential benefits. Cold water, ice cold, not tap water, not room temperature water, but ice cold water, like icy, so icy that it'll make your teeth hurt. But I want to read you this. And it talks about the harmful effects of drinking ice cold water. Now there's five things here. So I'm going to read you these 5 things, and it's up to you to make a decision on what you think is best. But if you go to the doctor, if you have a personal care attendant, I would suggest that you talk to your doctor and find out if ice water is harmful. Drinking too much of it, well, drinking too much of anything can be harmful. Drinking too much dairy, too much milk, drinking too much sodas, which is what I do. I love Pepsi. I love the flavor. I've been drinking it since I was a kid. I remember when the 2-liter bottles were first brought out in plastic. When I was a kid, we'd get sodas out of the soda machine, and they were glass bottles. Oh, buddy, when you're like 10 or 11 years old, icy cold glass bottle of Pepsi was really delicious. Now, I'm going to read these to you, and I'm going to talk a bit about it and give you my information, well, my opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and you can tell me what you think. 1, restricts digestion. Experts have said this. They claim that chilled water and even cold beverages contract your blood vessels. See, that's what I had thought, that it did that. It contracts your blood vessels, therefore restricting digestion. It also hinders the natural process of absorbing nutrients during digestion. The body's focus is diverted from digestion as it tries to regulate your body's temperature and that of the water, which can actually cause water loss and make you feel dehydrated. The normal temperature of the body is 37 degrees Celsius. Now, this is Celsius, and I'm not for sure what it is for Fahrenheit. So hold on. Which that actually is 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit. And when you consume something of a very low temperature, your body compensates by spending energy to regulate this temperature. This extra energy that is now used to regulate the temperature would have been originally used in the process of digestion and absorbing nutrients. This is why it is always advisable to have water at room temperature. Okay, now I am going to be checking more into this because, like I said, I love ice water. I do. I love ice water. I like water that's icy cold. I love drinks that are right out of the freezer. So that's going to be hard for me to switch. It won't be impossible, but it'll be very hard. 2, sore throat. Another very obvious reason for which even your elders have been preventing you from gulping down cold water is your increased chances of getting a sore throat and a stuffy nose. Drinking chilled water, especially after a meal, results in the buildup of excess mucus, respiratory mucosis, which forms the protective layer of the respiratory tract. However, when the tract gets congested, it becomes vulnerable to many inflammatory infections. I never knew that. I drink ice water all the time, but then I notice that I have a hard time breathing a little bit and I cough a little bit. It could be because I'm drinking water that is too cold. 3, inhibits breakdown of fats. I never thought of that. That fat, I know when you take and you drain off fat or grease from a hamburger you've just cooked into a container and you stick that into the refrigerator and it gets cold, it turns hard. Well, I assume that that's what it does with the fats that are in your body. Drinking cold liquids could cause them to get hard. Experts also say that if you drink chilled water just after your meal, the chilled temperature would solidify the fats from the foods you have just consumed, making it tough for your body to break down the unwanted fats in your body. It is, anyway, not suggested to drink water immediately after your meal. Well, what if you drink water with your meal? Well, they're saying that you shouldn't drink water right after your meal. Bangalore-based nutritionist Dr. Anju Sood suggests keeping a window of 30 minutes after a meal and before you drink water. This article actually was from Dubai, I think. And the reason I chose this, and I'm just going to say this real quick, is because a lot of times they don't have a hidden agenda. They're not being bought off by lobbyists like a lot of American papers and articles and doctors and things. They get bought off. So they will say whatever they are paid to say. Personally, I think that if you get medical information from overseas, that medical information can be a little more trusting. Dr. Anju Sood suggests keeping a window of 30 minutes after a meal and before you drink water. Also, read this article, Why You Shouldn't Drink Water Immediately After Meals, which I don't have that article. I don't, but they say to read it. So I will try to look it up. If I can find the link to it, I will put it in the description below. 4, could decrease heart rate. Well, I know that if you chill yourself It'll bring down your body's core temperature. I know that. So I assume that it would also bring down your heart rate. Now, I know that when animals hibernate in the winter, it's very, very, very cold, and their heart rate goes down very low so they can hibernate through the winter. Some studies have also shown that cold water may have a role to play in decreasing your heart rate. Drinking ice water supposedly stimulates the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve. I know, that sounds funny, but it's not. It is the vagus nerve. Not the vaginal nerve, but the vagus nerve. For all you that have your head in the gutter like I do, get it out of there. This nerve is a significant part of the body's autonomous nervous system. It mediates the lowering of the heart rate. That particular nervous system, that section of the nervous system brings down your heart rate. When you consume chilled water, the lower temperatures of the water stimulate the nerve to cause the heart rate to drop. Now, I have an app on my phone, and I don't know exactly how accurate the app is, but when you start the app, you can put your finger where the flashlight would be at, where your phone camera is at. You put your finger on there, and it will read your temperature. Temperature? No, it will read your heart rate. It's for heart monitoring. And mine is usually around 63 beats per minute. So I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm going to drink some ice water, and I am going to check and see if that actually works, because if it's normally about 63 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to drink some ice water, and I'm going to check to see if it brings down the temperature. Brings down the heart rate. 5. The shock factor is also not advisable to have chilled water after a workout. Gym experts suggest taking a glass of warm water after a workout. When you work out, there's a lot of heat generated, and if you drink ice water immediately after, the mismatch of temperatures can take a toll on your digestive tract. In addition to that, your body cannot absorb the chilled water. Therefore, it is of no use. Now, I know when I was a kid and I was outside and it was hot, we had an outdoor faucet. It was electric, and it was ice cold. I mean, the water came out icy cold. And my dad would always tell me, when you're really hot, take your wrist and run it underneath the ice water, underneath the water. Take that and run it underneath the water, and then if you're going to take some water inside you, swish it around in your mouth and then spit it out. That'll cool you down a little bit. He didn't say drink it right away. So the mismatched temperature may take a toll on your digestive tract. In addition to that, your body cannot absorb chilled water. Therefore, it is of no use to you because it's not absorbing the chilled water. Some people also complain of a chronic pain in the stomach due to the intake of chilled water right after a workout. This is because ice cold water comes as a shock to your body. Also, read drinking water after eating watermelon. Is it safe or not? I don't have that article. I haven't read it. So if I can find it, I'll put a link in the description for that one too. These reasons don't mean that you cut down on your water consumption completely. No, you're supposed to drink water, at least eight or 9 glasses a day. Now, my doctor told me that I should take this cup that he gave me. It's about 1 liter, fill that full of water, and drink 4 of those a day. You don't have to drink them one right after the other. You can spread it out during the day, but he said drink at least 4 cups of these a day. Consuming water at room temperature or water packs umpteen benefits. Other than just increasing hydration and faster digestion, it leads to the better stimulation of natural digestive enzymes and ensures smoother and better digestion. Hot water breaks down the food easily and enhances your bowel movement. It also acts as a natural blood purifier and increases your body's natural detoxification process. So load up on this wonderful liquid, but make sure it is not ice cold. Well, I think I will start drinking my water not quite so cold from now on and see how that works. Now, I will probably come back in a month and see if there's any changes, and I'll do a follow-up video to this. So, do you drink water? Do you like it to be ice cold? Do you drink liquids and like them to be ice cold? Well, maybe it's not such a good idea. Maybe try drinking water or other liquids at more room temperature. Now, there's a reason why people like coffee hot. There's a reason why people like tea hot. I've been drinking it for hundreds and hundreds of years, I guess. So, do you drink water? Do you drink enough water? Is your body craving water? If it is, you need to start, if it is craving water, you need to start drinking more water. Let's do this together, you and I. You and I. Let's make a pact to drink more water for our body's sake. Our body's 80% water. So, I'm going to leave you on this note. Remember, make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best you can today. If you've got a doctor, go get a checkup. If you don't have a doctor, please go get a checkup. You may be doing fine now, but you never know what will happen tomorrow. I wouldn't say this if I didn't love you all, and I do. I'm going to let you go on this note. Have a good afternoon, America, and all points beyond.